Okay, family. I had to come back and clear up some things. I'm hearing a lot of disinformation, misinformation. And regarding the 2025 vibration that we're currently in, a lot of events going on. I'm gonna get right into it. First of all, the with the shooters, um, they actually rented from Turo, the Turo app. I don't know what Tubo is, but yeah, it's the Turo app. And then, secondly, I was hearing someone speak about the vibration that we're in at the moment, 2025, and everything vibrates. But okay, let me go back here. So, 2025, and that's how you can read it in numerology. 22, again, master number. Okay, people need to understand the context. Again, who am I to speak on numerology? I am someone who's studied numerology for years. Uh, and I've done a lot of decoding behind the scenes. And I can tell you that some people just don't study before they, speak about subjects. That's why it's good to listen to people who know what they're talking about. And I'm going to try and focus more this year on, numbers and specifically dealing with data science because I am studying data science. But let's get into this. Okay, so again, 2022 and 5 is the vibration of the year. Okay, this is a master number. Master number doesn't mean, you're better than anybody. If you have one of these numbers, it just means it's a higher expectation put on you. Okay, as people expect more out of you, higher expectations, higher vibration, right? Higher, it gets bigger and bigger, the vibration. That's representing vibration right there. And so 22 is your master number. This is uh, the vibration of 4, right? Each side of this square represents 4. Oh, drop my. So you have 1 plus 1, which will give you what? 2. 1 plus 1 gives you 2. That's 22. 22. And so in numerology, you don't reduce down when you have a double digit number. It's a master number. So 22 plus 5 is what? 27. I haven't written on this thing for a while. I want to change pens. I haven't written. I'm going to change pens here. Let's see. I'm going to go a little bit. Excuse me. So we're dealing with a 22 in numerology. And 22 and 5, that gives you 7. So partnerships and spirituality is going to play a big part of this sequence. But I want people to note something about this is what's called an even number, which is more feminine. Okay. And then 7 is more of an odd number, it's more masculine. So you're dealing with a conflict of interest. Excuse me. Excuse me. So you're dealing with a conflict of interest, right? And when you have this conflict of interest, you tend to have conflict. It can vibrate to conflict. Now, 7 plus 2 is what? It is 9. When you break that down, but primarily the two numbers you're going to look at is 22 and 5, right? Because 22 is a master number. So you could look at 2025 as 2 plus 2 plus 5, which would give you 9. But and that's completion. Okay, completion. Yeah, 9 is the completion. More to do with cycles and completion, a cycle ending, more so than just completion. But even even to give you 2, 7 would be a more spiritual number. So again, we're dealing with a conflict of interest here on the negative side of 22 and 5, right? So you're gonna see conflict, and 22 carries with it a very powerful energy of building. Okay, very very powerful energy of building. So that is in essence what we're the vibration we're going to feel. But this year is special because you're dealing with the 5 energy, which is representative of the letter E, and 22 is the letter V, right? So that's V. But you're dealing with the 5 energy, which changes. 5 has that change. Everything's fine, right? It starts off 5, everything's fine, right? And then boom, here comes the change. So this year, I'm noticing what's happening is we're dealing with all these changes in America. Now, in terms of, terrorist attacks and things like that. But why? Why are we seeing the change so early, right? If the 5 starts off fine and then ends with chaos, why are we seeing all of these changes, right? It doesn't make sense. And that's because you're dealing with the 22 energy, which is also, again, okay, let's see if I can get this. Okay, you're dealing with my eye, you're dealing with the scales. And America, unfortunately, there's been things that have taken place that have not been so good for this country in terms of our imaging being very important. Kevin Samuels talked to you about image. A lot of people hated Kevin Samuels for talking about image and how important it was. He was telling people that buy a dog, die alone. And a lot of people took that as he's telling people to die. No, it was mean getting old alone. Die, become old alone. But anyways, that's another subject, which I will be getting to the gender war topic soon. I have to do a presentation on the gender war. It's so deep. I can study for a year before I even make a presentation. There's so much information about how we got to where we are today, but we're dealing with building and change. So building change, and change is not comfortable. Speaking I have prominent 5s in my chart, but change is not comfortable. Okay, but it's also a time to be very creative because in the 5 you have 3 plus 2, right? I look, tried to solve it, but you have 3 plus 2 in 5, right? So creativity and partnership. So that's the essence. People who are in that realm of creating and building, they're going to be able to use their creative power to create positive change as well as negative change, right? People who are operating off of that energy. Of course, in 22, you also have 11 plus 11. Very creative energy. And when you combine 11 plus 22, you get 33. Creative, very creative. One of the highest vibrations there is. That's the boiling point of water, right, on the chemical scales. So 33 vertebrae in the spine. Kundalini energy rising. Okay, so very powerful energy we're in. But what I see overall, I've got to zoom out. What I see overall happening is, again, we've got a lot of crazy events happening right now in the beginning of this year. And so these events may not stop all the way up until September, the 9th month of the year in the Gregorian calendar. Okay. If you're going to go by Gregorian calendar time, but most of us in America go by the Gregorian calendar, so that would be something you would pay attention to, events happening all the way up to the 9th. Again, you can't allow people in the country, right? You can't allow people in the country and then expect them to, ooh, I know I'm going to get torched for this. You want them to get out, tell them, get out of here. Well, these people while they were in the country, they got all these friends that they had, and they got family, and, some people willing to, may not be so quick to want to go, right? So they're saying they got over 1,000 terrorists, okay, to watch out for. So, this is going to be something we're going to, have to pay attention to moving forward and be prepared for. During this last storm, I realized I didn't have a, if you have a situation where the gas lines don't go down, if the gas lines go down, can you make it? And a lot of times when there's darkness, right? Let's see. Ooh, when there's darkness, unfortunately, yes, when there's darkness, the criminal element comes out in the darkness. Okay, and I did have an incident happen nearby while it was dark, right? So that's two incidents happened. One was because of the disaster. One was a non-disaster, and it was a wolf. Okay, so you have these wolves come out, and you have to kind of. That's not a wolf, is he? He's smiling, but he got fangs, and that's a wolf. So yeah, wolves come out in the darkness, and so we want to make sure you put on the armor of God, the gods, tap into self-defense right now. Tap into those different things because uh, we don't want to create fear, but this is just things we can expect in 2025, and we hope for the best always, but prepare for the worst. And that's what I always recommended, um, to always live a positive, happy life. Yes, but don't stop paying attention to the world around you because that's a form of protection. When uh, you can't protect anybody if you don't pay attention to what's going on. Okay, so I know people be like, "Oh, don't worry about that. That's a bunch of bad news." A man deals with problems. He doesn't ignore them and hope they go away. It's very childish. It's very childish. Man up, deal with whatever issue is going to happen, and don't ignore it because it bothers your peace. Okay. All right. Well, I just wanted to clarify some issues in regards to this 22 and 5 vibration. I know I didn't. I had a lot of some mix-ups, but I just did something real quick, and I hope everyone has a great year ahead. Let's continue to be at the ready. Peace.